Hey, hill folk, and welcome back to another episode of Appalachian Intelligence. Your host Ryan with you tonight. Lance is going to try to make it, I think, if he can. Justin will not be making it because he's somewhere in Kentucky that doesn't have very good signal, or so he says. He could be working for the government. We don't know. We'll find out soon enough, won't we? Anyways.
Love you, Justin.
Tonight we have with us the Counter Cult Podcast. Outlaw, there's a Dick, there's a Chuck, and there's a Matty O'Daddy. How we doing tonight, guys?
Pretty awesome, man. We're happy to record with you guys.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm so glad you guys could record with me. We are, like I said, crazy schedules. So we're lucky there are three of us, three of us hosting because when at least one of us can try and make it. And normally it's me. I'm not as busy as those guys. I can tell you that. My kids are more grown, which the other day, my son, we surprised him. He's going to be 18 next month. And we surprised him, me and my wife, my brother and sisters, and my mom and dad had with a party up there. And we got him a little Mazda 3 for his birthday.
Oh, hell yeah.
So he
Nice.
doesn't have his license yet because he doesn't really care about driving. So we were like, this is incentive. He wants a job. And I told him, I was like, listen, I work 10 hours a day. Your mom works 8 hours a day, but her commute is an hour and a half. So she's not going to come home. I'm not going to come home and take you to a job and then go back out and get you that night. So if he wants a job, get your license. Now you have a car. So
Definitely a good incentive right there.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my daughter just turned 14 and she's already applying for a worker's permit.
Oh man. Yeah, my middle daughter, this is actually her sweet 16. So I explained to her, I was like, listen, your brother's about to go to college and shit. So just chill out. She's cool with it. She understands. But once the brother's out and making his own money and everything, feeding himself, I hope, we'll have more to spend on them, I guess. But
I don't know, man. I fear because it's getting pretty thin right now.
dude, it's getting crazy. There's a guy at work that I used to work with in the coal mines. Now, Carl's 72 and he retired from the mines. He worked there 30 something years, retired from the mines. And now things have gotten so expensive. This man has come and gotten a job working 3 days a week just to supplement his retirement.
That's one tough dude right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's
his
pitiful
wife's
too.
still living. He gets now, don't get me wrong, dude gets he was threading some pusher bolt holes the other day. And man, I'm telling you right now, we got to use cheater pipes, and they are rough. And he did three or four of them the other day. I was like, man, this dude's like 71, 72 years old. He gets around great. But the problem is he shouldn't be in that position, you know?
No,
Yeah,
man. These people
absolutely
work and save
not.
their whole fucking life and and it's being taken like it without
Yeah.
representation.
Those old boys are the hardest workers, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling
They
you, he
see the shit
really
coming.
that dude is he stays busy all day long doing something. Like he'll get done with a project. He's got a broom he's cleaning up. He'll move right on to the next project. Like, man, Carl, slow down, dude.
Making me look bad, brother.
Well, they've had me on this crazy project. They bought this reclaimed a fan. All right. This thing was torn down in 2002, not by us. All right. It was torn down in 02. It's laid there ever since. We went and reclaimed it, brought it up, laid it out on the ground. They sent us a plan for it, a blueprint from 2007. I was like, how the fuck is this? I'm like, they tore this thing down in 02. You're sending me a plan from 07. They're like, yeah, it's probably nothing like this. And it was nothing like that. And we finally found all the top pieces. Because when a ventilation fan sits over a borehole where it goes into the mine, however big it may be, 18 feet or 21 feet, above that, all around those walls there, above that, those tops aren't bolted down. They're called blast doors. So if there was an explosion, they would relieve pressure rather than send it to the fan, because if mine rescue is going to go in, you'd be able to still get them ventilation going again. So we know what goes to what by the lack of bolt holes being there. Finally got this top looking right, put it together inside. Took me 2 weeks to figure this out. So I told my wife, I was like, it came to me one night. All right. I was dreaming about doing this. This is how long we were working on this. This is how long we were working on this. I was dreaming about it. So I came I got up on this ladder. It goes way up. It's like these stairs. And I'm looking down on what we've got so far. And then I came home and I blazed up and I sat and I thought, and I kid you not, the idea came to me. And the next morning I went in, I was like, this is what we need to do. And I swear to God, if it didn't work out. We worked on this
There you
for
go.
2 weeks.
Dreaming about that 9 to 5, man.
Oh my
High
gosh.
form of meditation.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
So you're proud at that point,
Yes.
That's
I was like,
that's a Hank Hill and propane moment right there. You dreaming about your work.
I climbed that ladder to get a visual image. So when I got home and I blazed up, I could just picture that. And then I started thinking about every panel I had laying. And then it just came to me. I was like, all right. So the next morning I remembered and I went in and I told my buddy Phil, I was like, this is what we got to do. Dude, figured it
We've
out.
got to get you into management, Ryan. So that way the kids can be like, so how did you break through? Well, so what I did was I went home and I blazed up and I got to thinking about this. And if you want to be excellent like me, you need to go home and blaze up and get a little bit of introspect into yourself and how you want to do your job.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I am really I got real bad ADHD. I can't keep my legs still ever. It feels like I get claustrophobic if I do. And it's just the OCD mixed in. And then, but if I smoke a sativa blend, it's like everything is fine.
Yeah.
I'm so mellowed out. I'm so good. But now if I smoke indica, it just puts me out.
Zombie mode.
It's crazy to me that sativa is actually supposed to, it's like an upper, but it's like I just level out so great on that.
Yeah. I've got ADD. Now my little brother, he's got ADHD and he's the same as you, man. The kid when he was little, Adderall slowed him down.
Yeah.
You give Adderall to somebody else, and I mean it's literally called. I mean the medical name for it, the scientific name for Adderall is amphetamine salts. So if you want to see if somebody's got ADHD and they take these amphetamine salts and they mellow out, then you know that they. I mean, that's the sign.
Yeah.
That's how things just work opposite. You know, sativa calms you down. You know, Melissa, she likes the sativas. You know, to keep her going. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
kind of like you said, the opposite. You know, now me, I don't really. The only time I use anything anymore is at bedtime, and that's usually an indica, just to help me sleep. But yeah, you know, I've noticed that with him though. You know, the things that are supposed to make him go up make him go down.
Mm-hmm.
And fun, oddly enough, I think the things that are supposed to make him go down, it make him go down too. So.
Oh man, sorry if y'all hear my dog running around. We've kind of clipped his nails, but he's a bit stubborn on that end.
Oh yeah, mine is too.
So,
Mine
guys,
is too.
what's everybody? Well, you guys are going to put it on Rumble. So, what you guys been digging into? What you guys been looking at lately?
Mostly midget porn, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
get that. Listen, there's some incredibly good looking little people out there. And
there is.
You're not wrong.
what the problem is, and I don't want to be like little phobic, are they going to call me that or something? But it's like,
Oh, everything's a phobia anymore. You're
it
scared of
feel
everybody.
like to me, and I know it's not fair to them, but to me, it would feel like, a little kid, you know? But
Oh, dude.
like,
Uh,
oh, this is uncomfortable. But then again, I've never experienced it, so I don't know.
You ever had to get on your knees to get a bush?
Ever. I probably wouldn't have to still. I'm pretty short.
Oh shit.
I'm 5'9" after I visit the chiropractor.
No, honestly, man, I'll let Chucky start off over there. We can go with Chucky and Maddie and Outlaw.
Yeah, I mean,
Chucky's always into some shady shit up in Canada.
yeah. The word on the street is that just this last week we got the Duke of Hell escaped from his prison, and we got lots of people in the sensitive community reporting like having nightmares about him, and other people like myself having just horribly horrific dreams that you don't normally get. Like, for example, uh, just like a couple days ago, I had this dream where I reunited with my old construction crew. And so that was all fine. We were all just bullshitting and uh, catching up on old times. And we break from work and go to lunch at a restaurant. And while we're sitting there and ordering our beers and our food, there's this family across the way in a booth seat. And so it's a mother, a father, and a teenage daughter. And my dream just kind of focused in on them. And they take their steak knives out of their table setting, the father and the mother, and they just slit their wrists in front of the teenage daughter and made her watch them bleed out and told them that, oh, it's okay, honey, it's okay. Don't you worry. And, so I was not okay with that. I woke up at like a jumper cable got attached to my toes. But yeah, there's a lot of people reporting similar kind of dreams.
Yeah, JJ had an account last night. She was talking about JJ Rose.
Yeah.
Shout out to her. She's awesome. She had an account last night that she was telling us about. Chucky was there too. About seeing the Duke of Hell crawl out of her mailbox. It was pretty
Another report of
fucking
that
intense.
today, actually, too.
Yeah.
This time from someone in Hollywood. So
Yeah, and I think JC. I think JC even added something to that, didn't she? Did she have some? JC had some fucked up dreams too. So these people who are spiritualists, they seems like they've got red flags going off.
Yeah, I had an unfriendly visitor in my car just this last week too. I went to go to work on Wednesday, and I got like a brand new car, so it's got kind of that new car smell, right? So I get into my front seat, and my whole car smells like old lady perfume. So like,
Fucking nuts.
oh, okay, that's not normal. Because like my wife hasn't been in the car in a week, and she doesn't wear that kind of perfume or nothing. So it's like checking the back seat and everything, making sure I didn't have someone like sleeping in my car. Nothing was there. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be late for work. I can't screw around looking for nothing. So I keep going, and about a quarter of the way to work, I start smelling rotten meat in my car. And I'm like, okay, that's not cool. Like, I know what that is. So I started doing my prayers and it disappeared. I get to work and I contact JJ. I'm like, hey, can you like look into this and tell me what's going on with these smells in my car? And she told me that the old lady perfume was an ancestral spirit on my mother's side of the family, and that she was just checking in on me, making sure everything was okay, probably like a little bit of a warning. And then when the rotten meat smell happened, it was this gremlin looking thing that was not very pleasant. And I think someone in the Discord just today just reported seeing some nasty little gremlin thing.
Yeah, that was me, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear
So
it.
Crap.
yeah, dude. So last night I woke up from this dream where I encountered this little old lady in the dream. But as I was looking at her, she transformed into like a little gremlin or goblin and bit my left hand. And there was more to the dream. I just can't remember much more of it other than that part. But now, I don't know, man. Just the coincidence of Chucky seeing a gremlin and me having almost the same experience. Then tying that in with other people having all these nightmares. Just
Hmm.
what the hell's going on, you know?
Did
Yeah.
it leave a physical mark on your hand?
I thought it did, man. I woke up and I mean, it was pretty dark in my room, so I turned on the phone and checked my hand. There was nothing there, but it definitely,
Sure felt like it.
yeah.
Kick
Little
that ghost
prick.
Karen in the
Should have
cunt.
should have punted him across the room.
Bo Peep and I had a running joke about the being cunt kickers, cunt punters. These old lady spirits. We had a hag incident at work, and we were talking about it, and like, yeah, kick that ghost bitch in the cunt. He's missing some fucking ghost teeth. Yeah, fuck a bunch of that shit, man. That's funny, man, because like I don't know if you guys remember, but I had that dream that was all too real. You know, I woke up thinking that one of the scorpions had got out and was stinging my foot.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, so I kind of came to, and I felt a sting in my foot, and I'm like, oh, you know, it must have been my subconscious, you know, because I had that motorcycle wreck back in 2020, and you know, I've got some fucked up nerves in my leg, and so it's not uncommon to have like some shooting pains every now and then, you know. And sure enough, about an hour later, my son wakes me up. My wife had already just left for work, you know, and this is like 9 in the morning, which is like late night for me, you know. And sure enough, the cat had gotten out and knocked over my just about knocked both of the scorpions off of the dresser. One of them had gotten out and had stung my foot, so I had the striped devil scorpion sting my foot, and that's what I was dreaming, you know. So
You know, I can't, oh, we lived over by my sister in this trailer, and I'm asleep having this dream that I was on a boat, but it looked like a walk through roof boulder, like what you use in underground coal mines. It was weird, but as I'm walking down, this snake kept biting my arm. And when I woke up, there was a wasper had gotten on me. I'd rolled over. It was just tagging me, man.
Just lighting your ass up in your
Yeah.
sleep.
Shit.
I was like, holy shit. But in my dream, I was getting bitten by a snake on this boat. I'm like, damn, where'd this snake come from? And when I woke up, this wasp was just freaking nailing me.
That's really odd, man, if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, our the way our subconscious works in dreams and and everything.
Yeah. Makes sense of
Um,
things. That's why you're
Yeah.
feeling that pain. A snake is biting you. But in
Yeah.
reality, this really mad wasp. God, and I hate those things, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I do too, man. They're bad over here in the summer too.
Oh fuck. When I started my demonology class, I had a fucking wasp nest chew through the ceiling in my kitchen. And I had thousands of wasps in the kitchen and in the living room.
Oh my God.
Oh shit, dude.
Fuck that.
Yeah. And I recently heard a podcast that talked about like an angry nature spirit attacking their house. And they did the same thing, attacked with a wasp hive. But I never got stung the whole time. I just grabbed my shot back and went to town on them.
Get out of here. Oh man.
Yeah, that one. Have y'all had any interactions with the ones in the ground? The ground.
Oh my
Ground
gosh,
wasps?
Yeah,
yes.
Yes.
fuck yeah, dude.
The black and white ones.
Well, I mean, ours are just yellow jackets here. They.
Oh, we
have-
got the black hornets too. They're nasty buggers.
Yeah,
So when I was stationed in Georgia, man, they had these I never seen them before, but black and red type looking hornet things.
Oh, that's angry.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Bugs that are red are just never good. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no fucking red bugs.
Especially when you go further south. And the
Mm.
bugs just get more dangerous as you go.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. They.
My
I'm
wife,
not.
when
I'm
we
not a huge
first
fan.
my wife, when we first got married, we didn't have any kids. She decided to mow the grass. I was stationed in Biloxi, Mississippi, and there's a big ant hill. Now, any ant hill you come across are red ants. They're going to fire ants. They're going to get you.
Oh
Yeah.
damn.
And she just thought she'd run them over and to get rid of them. Plus, she was wearing like flip flops or something like that. Dude, they were all over her. She was, when I got home, she was eat up like all the bottom of her legs on her arms.
Yeah, and they have like some kind of response, don't they? You know, like when one bites,
Pheromonous
like
response,
a
yeah.
Yes.
pheromone. I
Mhm.
think that's why people use smoke with bees and ants.
Mhm.
To the smoke, a lot of people think they just hate the smoke, but the smoke actually interferes with their pheromone signals.
Yeah, I'm telling you, those fire ants, man, you don't want to mess with those.
No,
No.
dude, I don't like
Not at
any of
all.
these motherfuckers, man. They're like they've got more legs than I need, and I just that's actually what got Melissa into thinking, well, yeah, get you a scorpion, you work on your arachnophobia. And
Ugh.
I still got the Asian, which I guess I still have them both. The striped devils down there somewhere, just fucking chilling, eating spiders, I guess. Well, Maddie knows, but a lot of people don't know these motherfuckers can live 2 years without anything to eat. So,
Yeah.
so he's just
Yeah,
fucking
they'll
chilling
hang
down
out
there
for-
somewhere. Yeah, it's cold. It's cold down there though, so I'm sure he's hibernating or doing something, whatever the fuck they do, and when they're cold and don't have a lot to eat. So maybe that'll thwart some of the spider response this year, though, if the cats don't. But yeah, so anyways, it's worked. It's kind of worked because I do enjoy fucking around with the Asian forest scorpion. I like to feed it and shit, but it's still kind of like even she don't really do much. She just fucking sits there in the light. You turn the light off and she's kind of active. But I thought it was fucking crazy dreaming that, and fucking sure enough, it was it was it was happening.
Getting nailed by a scorpion. Oh my God.
Hey, yeah, how many people can say that in Southwest Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to say that. That's
Yeah.
there's not even supposed to be anyone. They're not supposed to be venomous in the United States, right? There's no
Well, yeah,
native
you've got like
scorpion.
bark scorpions and stuff that are,
Yeah.
highly venomous, but this
Really?
one's kind of like a wasp. Yeah. A lot of them though are pretty much just like wasps. You've got some that are a little more venomous, kind of like the the desert hairy scorpion, and then you got the Arizona bark scorpion, which is really
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
those
really
things are
venomous.
hot.
Yeah.
Hey, they're not
Yeah.
native around us, right?
No.
Oh
There's
No.
nothing native
God,
up here.
No.
Jesus.
Uh
That's
yeah,
what I'm
nothing.
trying to say. That
But it was my favorite scorpion though, because this one was like real small, and like
Mm.
they stay small. This particular one that stung my foot, and it was cool as fuck because I'd feed him, and it doesn't matter what I put in that fucking cage or that enclosure, he would come straight up to it and sting it. And this little motherfucker was cool because it didn't matter if it was dark or if it was light, or he'd do it right right in the light, and he'd grab it with his claw, whatever it was, and he was fucking proud of it. Like he would run around that enclosure like for an hour, an hour with whatever it was he had just stung in his hand, fucking dead.
I had a crayfish that used to do that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Now we've got those bad around here too, back here in the creek. They fucking tear the yard all to pieces.
Yep.
Uh, with the holes and shit, they dig those mounds and holes, and
Mhm.
they're shitty back here. But
Oh yeah.
no, I've not been doing a lot of research. There's been enough going on in reality here, to not have to. I mentioned the other day, I can't remember what we were on or what we were talking about, but there was one UFO sighting over here that was my wife's friend. She posted it. This fucking UFO looked. I mean, it was a lot like it looked almost like the UFO from or the spaceship from ET. You had it was like a centrifugal, like it was a round craft. It had the lights all the way around it. Um, and it was taken on a valley road right over here. And then I don't know, Ryan, I'm sure you've seen scanner food and stuff like that. There's been like multiple eyewitness accounts on scanner food here in this area recently with UFOs, and it's between that and the meth heads, it gets pretty
Mhm.
thick over here sometimes.
Yeah, you don't know what's shining in the sky around here. And that's
Yeah.
it's just toxic clouds.
Yeah.
It looks like Aurora Borealis, but it's
Yeah.
not. Don't breathe that shit.
No, that's what happens when you mix fucking lye and battery acid.
Yeah. You gotta cut it with something, I guess. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Chucky, was that the end of the dreams and stuff that you were having? Or, I mean, was that all of it, or was there more to it? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, I mean, it's a good time to be on high alert for supernatural screwing around.
Yeah.
'Cause,
I mean,
like,
you can almost feel it in the air.
yeah, it's palpable. I
Oh.
mean, this sucker, he's got those spidery crab legs, and he's like three-headed. So he's got a frog face, a human face, and a cat face. Right.
Damn,
So
dude.
if you
Sounds kind of
have
like
a
the chimera, right?
if you have well, kind of like a cherubim.
Yeah.
Um, but
Oh.
yeah, if you see that guy in your dreams, wake up.
What about you, Matty? What you been on, brother?
Man, I've been on really just kind of a background kick looking back to like some of the Graham Hancock stuff. I'm not sure where I stand with it yet, but there's this general idea of earlier advanced civilization that I like. I'm just not sure what direction I'm going in with that yet.
Like the
Yeah.
Atlanteans or stuff.
Yeah, there's that, but I don't know, man. I just find some of this stuff really hard to put into words. Like, I don't understand Graham's perspective on some of it, and I
Mm.
don't really know the history of it too much because I started looking back at that Oralinda, and everything from that is, language is bad, which the Greeks were trying to tell us, like, hey, we don't need to be writing, we can talk, and that's why we have these big brains. And it's been kind of a trickle down since then of like, okay, well, now we're using these words, we're putting them on paper, and I'm kind of watching our evolution back into using like hieroglyphs almost, where
Yep.
people are talking more with emojis now. And I don't know whether we're about to converge with some previously unidentified technology that's going to destroy the world in some sort of uh, Babel-esque, catastrophe. But I find myself wondering if we're not close to that. And so I've just started revisiting some of this stuff and, you know, trying just to see what might be coming next, I guess.
Have you been seeing all the leaps and bounds they've been making over at Gobekli Tepe and
Yeah,
Karan Tepe? Like
yeah,
they say that those sites, that's like 1% of what there is actually buried underneath the ground there.
Yeah.
yeah,
And the sand that they used to bury it came from like 400 miles away or some stupid thing like that.
yeah, yeah.
Buried
It's
intentionally.
yeah,
But like
and
why would you pack sand from 400 miles away to bury this?
That's what I want. That's what I want to know. Was it supposed to be because of something like sacred ground or something like that, or
Must be.
So let me
because
throw
that
this.
was Turkey? That's in Turkey, right? That would
Yeah.
have been when Ham left, which was Noah's son, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
He would have went and where did he go into
He
the
went
land
down
of
to the land of
Canaan?
Cush. He went down to the land of Cush.
Cush.
Yeah. So that was like below Egypt.
So wasn't it he that found this?
Uh, I mean, it's hard to debate who founded Gobekli because they
He-
haven't found a
he's talking
name
about
there yet.
ham, Chucky, not Canadian bacon.
I understand, man.
I love you, dude.
Ah,
I think it
Shit, I
was
love you, man.
yeah, I think it was either Ham or Japheth, one of those two.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because if you read the book of Jasher, when Ham takes off from the family, he actually steals the sacred garments of Adam from Noah. And that's why Noah was so pissed at him. Because it was kind of like a family heirloom that got passed down from generation to generation after Adam passed,
Mhm.
along with his staff, which was supposed to be a branch from the tree of life with the name of God inscribed down it. So he took those from uh, Ararat and then made his way down to the land of Cush. And that's why Nimrod was so powerful, is because he had Adam's clothing.
Hmm.
Man.
wow. With the way that you look at the degradation of society today, it wouldn't surprise me if God was about ready to Sodom and Gomorrah everybody here.
Right?
Um, yeah, I mean it's one thing after another. Um,
Yeah.
you're talking about the book of Yasher. I thought I had an interesting conversation with a preacher the other day, and he was surprisingly open to my. And I'm not saying he believed in what I was saying or anything, but he was surprisingly open as far as listening.
Hmm.
Um, I was talking about the Ethiopian Bible and how I didn't much care for the King James watered down version, which is kind of hard for some people to um,
Except,
yeah, to be
Yeah.
it's not very palatable to especially somebody that's a preacher, uh but I was telling him one of the that's one of the things, and he this guy believes in paranormal. I'm like, and you guys, Ryan at AI, you guys have talked about it a few times. the Bible's, one of the most paranormal books that there is.
Sure
Um,
is.
Oh
But you
yeah.
add in
Yeah.
those apocrypha books and it gets even
Yeah.
more supernatural.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
It-
there's
I just
straight
have
up
a
just straight up describing cryptids in them.
Yeah, yeah. I just have a hard time thinking. You look at those older Bibles that are still in, what is supposed to be their complete text. Are a lot more than what we have now. You and I were talking about it last night, Chucky, about even books now. I heard a guy the other day talking about the book George Orwell's 1984. You buy it
Mm.
now and you compare it to a early 90s model of or early 90s copy of the book, and it's the text is completely different in a lot of places.
Yep.
And I think that's another thing that I've been looking into here recently too, is the Mandela effect being, a kind of like a trial run or conditioning, like a
How much
like
can we
a
change without them noticing?
yes, like a
Yeah.
preemptive strike at
Yeah.
our historical knowledge.
On that note, do you guys remember Totinos being Tostinos?
Yes.
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 Okay, I was debating that on the way home today. I was like, was it ever that, or is this guy just making me think that?
Now I
But
haven't heard anybody else bring that up, Ryan, but I'm
I
glad
haven't
you
heard
did,
that one
because I
before.
remember telling Melissa, I was like, I swear we used to call these things Tostinos.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
Because they made the little pizzas too, right? And those said
Yeah.
Tostinos.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I don't
Weren't
know.
they originally made for like the toaster ovens? Wasn't that the reason they were called that? Because you were supposed to use them
Yes.
in like the little pop ovens?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't slip this shit past me. I'm a encyclopedia of useless knowledge.
Yeah. Well, and then I can imagine you'd get the argument where you're thinking of Tostitos and Totinos and getting them mixed up. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
like I remember there being an S in that
Yeah.
in Tostino pizzas. But I'll tell you one that I know for certain I remember, and that is the cornucopia. Another one that I know for certain, and I've even
Oh,
seen
I've heard a
clips
little
of,
while.
is Ed McMahon giving out checks. He was
Yep.
even on, they were even joking about it on one of the night shows, about him giving out those checks. Um, those are two that I know
Wait, they're
that I
saying he
remember.
didn't?
Yeah, that's one of the they're saying that Ed McMahon never handed out checks for Publishers Clearinghouse.
What?
Yeah. Like
He was
that's
the
the one thing the
face.
guy's known for.
Yeah.
He was the face of Publishers Clearinghouse.
Well,
Yeah.
you heard the one about the Sinbad movie Shazam,
Well, yes.
Yeah.
where he plays the genie.
Yeah.
Well, that video actually just surfaced last week. They actually played some of it,
Yeah.
and it is the movie that I remember watching.
Well, guys, get this. Okay, so you're talking about that. Now, we have heard, I'm sure you guys have heard too, if you've looked into that one. People saying that Sinbad was embarrassed and wanted to buy them all, right? I've heard that theory floated around, and the
Did you see his
studios buying them
interview?
back and all that. No, I didn't. But I wanted to throw this out there. So in case you didn't know, I found this out the other day, and it was by a reputable source. And it was that Sylvester Stallone fucking hated Rambo. He hated it because originally the original cut was 3 hours long, and a lot of it he had a bunch of stupid fucking puns in it. And I can see them making, with the way he talks and shit, just stupid fucking puns, which I love Rambo. I love Stallone, as
Oh,
far
yeah.
as just being a fan, but so come to find out, and you can find stuff on this. Sylvester Stallone was actually going to buy and destroy Rambo from the production company until they decided to work with him and shorten it down to what we now know as Rambo, hour and a half long, 2 hours long, something like that. They ended up cutting a lot of shit out of it, and it became the movie it is today. But at one point, he was going to buy the master and the all of the recordings of the first Rambo movie, First Blood.
Fun fact. That movie was filmed in Hope, BC.
Yeah.
I've actually walked the streets where they film and where there's like that dirtbag sheriff's office.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So
Nice.
it's not hard to, when you hear things like that, it's not hard to believe that, that maybe that, I could see Sinbad being the pretentious bastard he is, being like, I fucking hate that. We got to get that out of here.
Oh man, it went deeper than that. Like he went on an interview somewhere and said that they, quote unquote, um, wanted the movie gone, probably for the stupid Marvel movie or whatever. But
Yeah.
he said that if anyone was ever found to have a copy on them after they tried to get rid of it, he said there was only like 3 copies that they knew about left in existence. If they found you with it, they just kill you, make it
Yeah.
look
That
like an
doesn't surprise
accident.
me.
What?
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
this came out of Sinbad's mouth.
Yeah.
That
But you
is
hear a lot
right.
of
It
that
was
anymore.
called Shazam, and they can't
Shazam.
have that if they want to make that Shazam Marvel movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dang. And we're all just supposed to act like it didn't happen.
yep.
Yeah. And really, I don't know which one's cornier. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, uh, so I know that, but and I'm back to the main narrative there. I was thinking I'm starting to believe that maybe the Mandela effect is a uh, uh, preemptive strike at conditioning us to allow them to tell us history and reality.
Well, they
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
you look crazy over the really mundane, stupid things. And
Yes.
then when it gets to stuff that really matters, then no one's going to listen to you because, oh, you're just one of those crazy Mandela effect conspiracy theorists.
Well, yeah, and
They'll just
we
take it
spoke
as
about that last
they'll
night too,
just take it
Chucky.
at face value, right? They're going to open that book, they're going to read it, take it at face value because they don't know any different.
Yeah, and yeah, we spoke about that last night too, about the guy that was the apparently the journalist that blew the lid on Pizzagate.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, in the conspiracy community, we laugh at QAnon, and turns out, I mean, we can laugh at them all day long, but turns out their flagship model there was a conspiracy going on, and the guy was friends with the Podestas and the Clintons. He had never been a journalist before, and then 2 months ago he gets busted with child pornography and indecent acts with a minor.
Yeah, dirtbag.
Exactly, man. So it's funny because nobody, not and even in the conspiracy, even in the deepest conspiratorial communities, I don't even know if Jones touched a lot of that. After they blew the lid on it, the QAnon stuff. Um, and I'm not validating them in any way. I'm just saying there's an instance of there being a kernel of truth even in some of the most outlandish claims.
Yep. I've been hearing lots of talk about like internet books, like on your phone or tablet, that a lot of the
Yeah,
information on there is getting edited and changed to fit their narratives. So that's
yeah,
why having like good old hard copy books is a good idea if you want straight information. Well, as straight as you can rely on anyway.
absolutely, man. I would
Yeah.
love to have a copy of David Radius Hudson's um, his experiments, his initial experiments with that monatomic gold. I've spoken on that a couple times. I think on the powwow. I'm not for sure if
Oh
you were on that
man,
one, Ryan. You may have been. I'm not for sure. Um,
there's been
but
some pretty big leaps and bounds uh, with ancient discoveries of monatomic gold and monatomic silver
yeah,
over in Indonesia. Um, they have these temple complexes, and there's a where their deity is supposed to sit in the temple. They have this thing called the lingam, which is basically like a phallus,
yeah,
and there's these water troughs that are built around it, right? And they'll put wheat chaff in a jar down below where this water pours out, right?
yeah.
So when you come into the temple, you bring a jar of water and you pour it on top of the lingam. And then the excess water will pour down the spout and go into your empty jar with the wheat chaff. Now, if you put a gold bar and a silver bar at opposing ends of the jar, it'll create electricity when that water drips on it.
Really?
Yeah. And what they found, because they found an intact one, they lifted up the lingam, and underneath there's a square stone plate, and there's alternating gold and silver leaf uh, in a lotus type pattern going around. And the water, when it's in there, will actually make monatomic gold and monatomic silver. So that when you drink that water, you're getting healed.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that 'cause you're talking about the electrical charge. That's how David Radius Hudson supposedly rediscovered monatomic gold when he did. I think it was in
Yep.
the 80s. Was he was out in the desert. He was trying to find a way to make his. I want to say it was wheat. It may have been something else, but he was growing something out there, and he had some money, and he was doing these experiments, very Tesla like, really, because he used an electrical charge in the ground, and he was sifting through it, and he came up with this what ended up being like white powder coming up. He tried to get all these people to to test it, these universities, and they'd say it comes back as nothing, or it's iron ore, or something else, but we can't explain the makeup. Well, finally, I mean, now this, I'm going to fast forward a lot. But we talk about dimensional travels, and I think I even heard on the master debaters the other night them talking about one guy's theory about the absolute, which is like an absolute wall of energy that goes through all dimensions. Um, but when they finally figured out that this was monoatomic gold, they were doing some experiments on it, and they put it in this thing that heated up the gold. So they put it on a tray, and they put it in there, and the tray's all it's constantly weighing the material. Once they heated it up above a certain temperature, this powder would disappear. However, when they would let the container cool, the powder would reappear just as it was in there before.
Mm.
So they did an experiment where, I don't know how they did it, but they got in there while it was heated up and disappeared, and they took an instrument and swirled it around in the tray, let it cool back down. Sure enough, the monoatomic gold, the powder substance, reappeared, and it was unaltered from when they had made it disappear, almost like it was existing at a different temperature. Once it reached a different temperature, it was existing on a different dimensional plane.
Different phase state.
Yeah. Now here's the kicker, man. This is where it gets even more interesting. So when they did this, when they heated it up and it disappeared, it went weightless. But not only did the monoatomic gold powder go weightless, it even it would untare, untare. It would untear the weight. So it was actually not only going weightless itself, it was making the tray go weightless that it was in.
Holy crap.
Now you think about that and apply it to what we have witnessed in some of these unidentified flying objects. As far as like the triangle, that I saw, or which I've heard some off the wall theories about that too, but that being having magnetic fields in each corner and such. But think about if they had a way, and we know that these ancient civilizations used and knew, obviously, different uses for gold and silver, just like you highlighted just now, Chucky.
Well, they'd
Yeah.
also be using stuff like ferrofluids, like mercury,
Yeah.
and you put frequency in mercury, it does all kinds of wacky stuff.
Yeah, frequencies. There's
I mean, if
another
you
one.
look at that pyramid in China where they found the great emperor with his terracotta warriors, there was literally oceans of mercury in there.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had a world map, and the whole world map's ocean was nothing but mercury.
Jesus.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it
We
just
know what they died of.
that's the cool thing. That's the cool thing, man. David Radius Hudson didn't die. He just shut up. And a few years back, he actually did a radio interview, but he wouldn't go into a lot of detail, and he didn't. He obviously didn't say why or what was shutting him up. But the guy, all of a sudden, I mean, when it first came out, they realized that this monatomic gold, he would take it, and he actually beat cancer. He or his wife beat cancer. So I mean, obviously, there was a reason for this to be shut up, because as we all know, our beloved pharmaceutical companies, they like to make customers and not cures. But
Yes.
that really could lead into a lot of theories, conspiratorial and paranormal. If you have a material that has been proven to be able to exist in two different dimensions, just by changing the environmental temperature.
Yeah, that's nuts to think about, isn't it?
It really is, because then, like, if temperature is the variable for that, what if you had something made of that? Technically you could travel dimensionally. I mean,
Yeah.
you could, just by heating the craft up or
Yeah.
cooling it down, or
Well,
Maybe that's why
the tops of the pyramids were supposed to be solid gold, weren't they?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yes, they're
Uh,
supposed to be Captain Gold, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's, yeah. I mean, so there's, food for thought. But yeah, that's, David Radius Hudson. Like I said, he didn't die, but he definitely. I mean, he went from selling the cure, and he'd go out and have these discussions on it. These conferences and stuff, and all of a sudden he just stopped. No more. Like, you didn't hear from him forever. So he was obviously onto something. Look at Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar was onto something. And they tried to they literally erased the man's credentials. And if it weren't for people saying, "Oh, he definitely went to wherever it was he went," I think it was Berkeley or somewhere. But there were people like, "Yeah, I went there with him." They literally made his fucking academic records disappear. And this guy worked for, Area 51, and that was confirmed.
Well,
And,
they're just scared of us knowing about element 115.
well, yeah, element 115. And there's another one. What's element 115? What's it contain? That's got to be something that's worth a lot. That's $1 million
What's the
question too.
stable form, right?
Yeah,
I think it's probably a crystal.
Could be.
could be.
We know we've heard a lot here recently about the power of crystals too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would go back to the Atlantean legends and how they powered
Yep.
their society and everything. They
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
talk about the great and terrible crystals and their mighty power.
Yeah. And I mean, all the Hermetic stuff comes from the emerald tablets, which was supposed to be just a big chunk of emerald with Hermes Trismegistus's knowledge written on it. Was like
Yep.
13 sentences or something like that.
Yep. That's supposed to be under the Sphinx, right?
If memory serves, yes.
It's nuts.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, one thing's for sure though. The only information that gets out is what they want to allow it to, what they want to allow out. I don't think there's anything that we just, well, I mean, there may be bits and pieces, but I don't think there's anything significant that we ever find out that it wasn't meant for us to find out.
I like that they're using LiDAR now and finding these other chambers in the
Oh, yeah, man.
pyramids.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Like
cool.
whole ass cities down in the Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And over by Angkor Wat, they're finding a ton too.
Yes. That's such a really cool instrument.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of those things in technology you're like, hell yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Something useful.
Yeah. I think they even found a pyramid buried in the mangrove out in Florida,
Nice.
which
Holy
kind of
shit.
like plays into the energy field with the Bermuda Triangle.
It really does, doesn't it? Oh man.
I'd love to see one go over Antarctica and see what they pull up.
Oh
Oof.
yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I see a
did-
lot of
was it-
articles about Antarctica now.
There was I can't remember what I read, but it was supposedly when they did the remote viewing for the federal government back when it was it the 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Project Stargate.
Yes. One of them described a black pyramid.
That was up in Alaska,
In Alaska. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that wasn't Antarctica.
but they did
Close.
remote view that. Yeah, you're correct.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking Antarctica. You're right, it was Alaska.
It's cold and it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both
It is
cold as
fucking
fuck. Yeah.
yeah.
cold and shrouded in mystery. Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the mountain it's supposed to be buried in.
I
And
can't
both
either.
fucking huge.
Yeah.
He wasn't
yeah.
Denali, right?
No.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's probably why Alaska's got the most missing people per capita out of anywhere in America. Is
That and there's a
a lot
of
of secret, shady stuff happen up in Alaska.
yeah. Well, that's what I always talk about, man. You get these people that are remotely out there that are reporting, hey, we see these things, these lights all the time. Nobody believes them,
Yeah.
So the government
Till
can
they show
test
up at the
whatever they
Miami
want
Mall.
to. Yeah. Yeah. They mount their cloaks malfunction at the Miami Mall, and
Yeah.
there's not one cell phone or CCTV footage or anything from inside the mall to show what was happening.
No
Well,
shit. Just to put
one
a
way or
cap on
the
the shit
other.
that's being said. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
You don't get either side of the story.
No. No,
No.
show
And,
me the fight with sticks.
yeah, and the lid's blown way the fuck off of it. Like, why has there not been anybody other than a couple of very well spoken and in my opinion paid for police officers that say, yeah, it was just a bunch of teens fighting, and we, there were a couple officers couldn't handle it, so we called a code 3 and everybody came, bullshit, dude. Where's the fucking surveillance? You got cameras
Dude, why did you
Excuse me.
shut down the airways over in Miami?
The
Over
one
some
that made me
kids fighting with some sticks.
the one that made me laugh the most is when they said the aliens put in the wrong coordinates.
They shut
Yeah.
down. They shut down all Wi-Fi in the area.
Have you guys
Nobody had
seen
Wi-Fi.
for a fight.
have you
Yeah.
guys seen those like blue beam-esque laser shows that Vegas does in the streets where it looks like
Yes.
Yeah.
where it looks like
Yes.
things are just popping out of portals?
Yes.
How hard would it be to take some technology like that and install it in the mall's rafters and then have that play out?
Yeah.
Nobody would be any wiser. It just looks like a camera,
Yeah.
right? It's security for the mall, and yet it's
Yeah.
projecting these things into your known space. So you think that there's 8 to 10 foot tall beings walking around, and then they're marching in front of the police cars like it's no big deal. But you just put a camera on the front of the mall that would easily project the same type of thing.
Yeah.
I
We'll
need
get
that
away
for
with
work.
that shit around here, man, because I'm part redneck, part dumbass. If I see that thing, I'm fighting and biting some genitals.
I need one of those for work. So
You can
know,
project yourself to look like you're there.
yeah, then I'm just here collecting a free paycheck at home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man. I need to go to that Canadian cloning factory and make a clone.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's there's not a lack of crazy shit going on. That's for sure. And you were talking about the third eye spot. I don't know if you guys heard it. There was one. I think I mentioned it before. There was one video clip I saw, and I don't recall where it was at, but one of the it was a female, and she was doing the remote viewing, and she was in Antarctica, and she walks in this big what looked like a vault door that was just exposed outside. It was everything else was snow or ice or what the fuck ever's down there. She goes through it, and there are military guards in the hall of this, I guess, the entrance, and they can see her, and they're like, you're not supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Holy hell.
At which
Yeah.
point she said the session ended, Now I don't know if that was a forced ending or she just ended it herself or what, but
I
according
think it
to
was
her,
forced pushback.
yeah, but yes, according to her, that she's remote viewing this thing, goes in this vault door, it leads to a hallway, and there are armed guards there, military-esque, attire, and they say, you're not supposed to be here.
Despite what they say, every nation in this world that's not a third world country invests into psychic spies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since paperclip.
Yes.
Probably even before.
Probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean,
You're probably
every
right.
single royal uses their own personal astrologist.
Yeah.
I mean, since time immemorial, they've been looking into astrology and predicting whether or not they should do something.
I've always wondered what it mattered. What constellation was wherever when I was born.
I mean, it's in the Bible, man, that God put the stars there for the signs and wonders.
Isn't that just they themselves? Aren't they just they themselves, the signs and the wonders?
Well, I mean, technically, when Jesus was born, you were supposed to look for that certain constellation
Well, that
in
certain
the
star.
right spot in the sky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of astrology talk that's in the Bible that's very esoteric that you don't understand unless you know what you're looking for.
Yeah. Well, when you put it that way, yeah, it makes sense. And I'm not debating you on it. I'm just saying.
No,
I'm
I feel you.
completely open to all theories on this. I was just saying we could throw that in there to debate it, but yeah, that makes sense, man. I mean, like we say all the time, dude, it is a supernatural book.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it tells us that one guy got every animal to come onto a boat, and one guy got swallowed by a fish for 3 days, and then just got spit up on a beach and went on his way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one guy
Alright.
took a magic staff and turned it into a snake that ate 6 other snakes and then turned back into a staff.
Yeah. And then the Red Sea parted, you know?
Yeah.
Did you see that thing on I was watching it the other day. They think they found where
The walkway.
they found where the Red Sea parted, they think.
Well,
They
there's
would have
chariot
gone,
pieces all in there.
and
Yeah.
it's this part of the ocean actually, for some reason the tide does something and that whole area clears out, but it's only for just a little bit, and then it comes right back in, and it's pretty deep, you know.
Yeah.
So they're thinking that was the spot. I was like, well, that's pretty cool.
I watched a
Yeah.
deep dive on that, and they were saying that during that time period that would fit the bill, there was actually a volcano, I think on the Isle of Crete, that erupted at the same time. So you would have had earthquakes and whatnot preceding the volcanic eruption that when it shakes certain gases loose, that would turn the Nile red. And it would have all this rust come up to the surface, so it would suck the oxygen out of the water, and that's why all your fish die. And the frogs leave the water. And you get all the locusts and everything coming in to eat all these dead fish and the gnats. And so there's it's very supernatural, but it's also very natural at the same time, the way that it all played out. And then when the eruption actually happened, it sucked the water away, kind of like when a tsunami happens. And then they were able to cross, and then it just stopped, and Pharaoh
That
got
was
his
it.
ass kicked.
Turn around. Or however you say it in their language. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think there's a lot, like I said, I think there's a lot more. Chucky, you talk about the Book of Yasher, you got the Book of Enoch. Those books are included in the Ethiopian Bible.
I mean,
Plus
Jasher's
more.
mentioned 3 times in the main Bible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
The writer of Jasher, so when there was the 2 good spies that go in the land of Canaan, you got Joshua and Caleb. The writer of Jasher was Caleb's son, apparently.
Huh.
So the book of Jasher is like Genesis all the way up to basically Judges, and then it ends there. And it's more fleshed out stories from the Old Testament. You get a lot more detail to the stories, and some of it's pretty wild.
yeah. Well, Enoch is too.
Oh yeah, and the Book
pretty
of
much
Giants, and
I was gonna say pretty much a narrative on Genesis 6. And
Jubilees, and
yeah, and and I just have a lot of problem believing that ours, the King James, that is the full, is the full text, and it's I just have a lot of problem with that, especially
well,
being
they certainly didn't want the Book of Secret Gospel of Thomas in there.
well, and look at what did now, I'm not saying King James authored what we have now. He obviously had it translated by a group of people, but he did author a book right before he had the Bible translated. I mentioned it before, if you all remember. It's literally the Book of Demonology. I mean, that's King James that authored that, and I just can't see somebody authoring a book on demonology unless you're pretty intimate with a bunch of demons.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're trying to, you got to know your enemy to defeat your enemy.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
Yeah, I mean,
But I see what you're saying.
yeah, it's still sketch.
Because, like, I mean, I took a demonology course, and I'm not into that.
Yeah.
You just said that earlier, Dick.
Just to be fair.
Yeah, and well, I'm just rationalizing my thought, as far as why I don't subscribe to that being the complete Word of God. Like, what if I'm King James and I want mine to be the fucking number 1 bestseller of all time, which it is, by the way.
Slap your name on the front of it.
Yeah, slap your name on the front of it, not Jesus's. You're gonna slap your name on the front of it, and of course I'm gonna put in there that this is the complete word and will remain unchanged. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, Jesus says not to alter the book. He doesn't say that it can't be.
Yeah. Well, but it is supposed to be the complete Word of God, supposedly.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, and I have a problem, believing that. But and I'm not saying that the books that are contained in the King James version are falsified or anything like that. Just I think there are certain things that were left out for us not to be. I mean, look at all the evidence we have. Look at
things
what the
were left
Smithsonian
out,
did with
and
the
I think
Giants.
some things were put in.
Yeah. Well, look
like
at what the Smithsonian
being
did with the
okay to
Giants.
own slaves and stuff.
Yeah. You look at the conspiracy of Francis Bacon being Shakespeare, and him being the 47th or 46th, and you look at that verse in that one book that I can't remember which one. I'll get that to you all later. The somewhere in there is shake, and then
shake
at that,
thy spear or something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
but it's spelled like you would
It's in one
spell
of the
spear,
Psalms, isn't it?
Shakespeare.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is, Maddie. Yeah.
Well, it's rumored that Francis Bacon could have been the Count of Saint Germain.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
Yeah.
Original vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of shady things, that we can't, I can't prove or disprove, but, there's a lot that doesn't mean I can't be, inquisitive for the truth, and maybe not have to subscribe to what everybody else thinks is the complete word to be a good Christian, I guess. But
no, you got to think for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Jesus says the kingdom of God is within you, right? So you can find God within your own self. You don't need to go to someone to, I mean, I don't go to somebody to learn how to raise my dog, right?
Yeah.
I don't go like, hey, how do I have a relationship with my dog?
All right, you're getting a little poppy on us there now.
Well,
Chucky over here having relations with the dog and Pappy
What?
jacking deer.
Oh
Frick.
man.
Ryan, I wish you'd have been around for that conversation, brother.
Oh,
Apparently up
That
north.
sounds like it would have been fun.
Apparently up north,
hilarious.
spotlighting deer is called jacking deer.
Jack and Deere.
Yeah. Yeah. Brother Poppy, he caught a hard time for that.
Yeah, he did.
He's a great dude. I love it. Good sport too. He's fun to get going, man. But yeah, we had a good time with that.
Oh man.
But yeah, there is, we're at a time right now that like you can really feel a lot of energy, some good, some negative. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be, I'm not getting woo woo either. If you think about it, I've said this before. If you think about, when somebody says feeling energies, if you think they're a Fruit Loop, just think about it. You walk into a bar, you can feel tension if there's going to be a fight. You walk into a place where people don't like you are there. You can feel it. You can feel that energy.
The only people that say that it doesn't exist are the closed-minded people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Right.
and that's why I tried my best to, break it down like that. That's a
Mhm.
common sense way of looking at, okay, yeah, you can really kind of feel energies, you can feel out, if I'm sitting down with a bunch of dudes that I know don't like me, I can, I'm going to realize that at some point,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
it
I think
usually
we all
doesn't,
have a sixth sense.
yeah, it usually doesn't
Yeah.
take a rocket surgeon to figure out that you're not wanted, in that group.
Yeah. It's like that little experience I had just walking down the road from my buddy's house. It was dark, but I really don't care. I was stoned, of course, and
So
I
you had
went up to
seventh
see.
sense kicked
Yeah,
in.
yeah. He had surgery, so I want to go up, make sure he's all right. I'm walking back down through here, and dude, it was overwhelming terror out of
Really?
nowhere. Almost like I was getting ready to get hit with a panic attack, but it was just like fight or flight. Like
Damn.
What
my
day was that?
it was I can't remember. But but what was weird was Justin was having this conversation with these other people at the same time. And it's crazy too. But dude, I mean, locking up, freaking ready to go. If anything, like I just felt like something was right there, like in the woods, but I couldn't hear anything.
You got the haymaker locked and loaded.
I'm telling you, I'm ready. I don't give a crap what it is. I'm gonna fight this thing. But dude, it was just overwhelming terror. Like I was so scared for no reason, and I couldn't understand. I was actually laughing at myself at the same time. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell is wrong with you?
Well, dude, I mean, you're in a very, I'm in a remote area.
Oh
You're
yeah,
in a very extremely remote area.
yeah.
So I mean, if shit did happen, that's it's a good thing you would have a sixth sense like that, because if shit did happen, you're in an area that you really want to be as aware as you possibly can be. Uh, you know, even driving over there is, to somebody who's not used to it, is an experience. I can tell you firsthand.
Yeah.
Um, you
So
know,
that feeling you got, was it a feeling of dread?
Not really dread, just fear, just overwhelming fear. I mean, and the one thought that kept scaring me even more was, holy crap, mountain lion, mountain lion. I
Mm.
can't hear it.
Sasquatch.
I can't hear it, but I know something's there. And I'm like, oh my God. So that's at the point I tried to stand a little taller, broaden my arms out because I'm like, okay, maybe if I look a little bit bigger, the cat won't try to attack me.
yeah,
But because I have my hood up, So I know cats, they like to attack from behind. So I'm sure it was trying to figure out which way my face was. But
Yeah. Dude,
or
that's nuts, dude. I mean, did you ever hear anything?
nope, never heard a thing, man. Just
Mm.
it's just like I knew.
Yeah.
Just boom. I was like, holy shit. Like I need to be on guard for something.
As much interaction as you guys have had with what's seemingly Lilith, I would, that would be pretty freaky. I mean, I could see, hell, Justin
Yeah.
saw her out by his fucking hot tub, right?
Yeah. Well, out by the building, he was in the hot tub
Yeah,
getting
fuck a
up.
bunch of that shit, dude.
Yeah. And then when he looks back, there's a freaking owl sitting on the building.
No, thank you.
I would have had my cunt punter ready to fucking Harrison Butker that bitch.
Telling you, man. He's seen
Uh,
some crazy ass shit, dude. One night, man, I go outside and I see something out of the corner of my eye going, I'm trying to take a piss. I see something out of the corner of my eye, just dark, go across the ground like a shadow. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Then I see it's a damn crow. I'm like, what
Damn.
the hell is this crow doing in the middle of the night? And then
Yeah, it's odd, man.
I watched this freaking owl fly over. Boom, hits that crow again.
Damn.
And then the owl goes up. The crow hops across the creek, gets up on the road. Out of nowhere, my damn cat nails this crow. And then I'm like, oh no, the owl's going to get my cat and the crow. So my son takes off running up the road. I didn't have my phone on me. I'm such an idiot. But my son is trying to shoo the cat away. The crow is mid hop flight, whatever it could. It was injured. The owl injured it. The owl is swooping down like this far from my son's head. And
Fuck
I'm
that.
like, if I had a camera, this would be so awesome right now. And I was high as shit. I'm dying laughing. But dude, the picture, I'll never forget this. It's pictured in my mind with this owl swooping. I could see the curl of its talon. That's how close I was and how close it was to my son. But it was like swooping away from him. The crow is like mid flight, just trying to get away. The cat's pissed off at my son. Like, it was a crazy sight, man. I was
Oh,
like,
I can only
dude, I
imagine,
just
dude.
got attacked by Lilith, and I think Odin was trying to help me. I was like, I don't know what was going on. But then my cat came into the mix.
Dude, that's really odd, man. I can't say that I ever recall seeing a crow at night.
Only in
I
Appalachia, man.
definitely can't.
Oh man, I'm telling you, that owl snatches them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I mean, that's
snatches them
just,
out of the trees and everything. I'm
yeah.
actually gonna start feeding the crows around here because we raised the gardens on the other end. So I'm gonna start feeding those dudes and just because I've seen all these stories, people can make friends with crows, and
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I've seen it. I
I've
saw
been
a crazy
trying
one.
to.
They'll
Yeah, I
even
saw a
leave you
crazy one
gifts.
where a lady got fucking keys brought back to her bomb.
Yeah,
Some
man.
dude in like New York trained one to like fetch money, and he'd come back with like fives and tenors all the time.
Sorry, outlaw. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh no, you're good. I was just saying. I was mentioning that they bring gifts as well. So that's
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was listening to. I was like, well, holy shit, instead of just fighting them, why don't we just feed them and make friends with them? They'll bring us trinkets and stuff.
Yeah. Dude, they will, and they'll let you know. Like they'll let you know if shit's if there's something awry in the whether it be in the woods, wherever you're at, if they're around,
Yeah.
they'll start acting fucking weird and
They're the
calling and
tattletales out in
shit.
the forest.
They really are, man. Them. I mean, buzzards are a lot alike. Buzzards will do the same thing. They'll do like a murder of crows, and I've actually got some real wicked pictures of them. eating a beef carcass out in the field where I hunt out here, and it's way back in the field, and there's fences separating the fields. Well, I'm at the back of one field, and civilization's half a mile back this way. Well, not even civilization, just the main road that would take you to civilization. That's 45 minutes away. So I'm back here in this back field, and it goes down into like where a pond is, where the cattle would go down and drink. And one had apparently fell over there, and they were eating it. And two of them are sitting up on the posts, on two fence posts, just watching the others eat. And one would switch with another one over here. Now this one, the one on one side stayed. It was just he stayed there, and the other ones would switch, and it was just a fucking crazy, like almost tactical way that they were eating this fucking cattle carcass. And the pictures that I got were crazy too, because you got two big ass black buzzards sitting on fence posts.
That's awesome. They're amazing creatures. That's what I like. And those crows and buzzards are too. They're ugly as hell, but
Yeah,
those
yeah,
turkey vultures around here,
Yeah.
dude, God Almighty,
yeah,
they've got a face only a mother could love for sure.
yeah,
But
yeah. And they got to smell like hell.
oh my
Oh,
gosh,
dude, they do. They piss on their legs so they don't get bacterial infections.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
what a nasty fucking animal, dude.
Birds
But
are gross. That is one thing about
but
it.
those crows, man, that's fucking cool. They remember shit like an elephant. I mean, it's fucking
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
You
throw
know-
a rock at a crow, they actually will remember that,
Yeah,
and they
you made
tell
an
their
enemy for
friend
life.
they tell their friends too.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
and
dude
I've
will
even
throw
heard some
rocks at
people
you.
say that they don't have to be the one that saw you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because they're
that's
tattletales. Just like you said, the tattletales of the forest.
tattletales.
When I used to hunt when I was younger, whenever I would hear crows coming, I'd be like, "Oh my God, be so still." If they see you and they start calling,
Yeah.
you know. I was
Same
always
with
so
the
scared.
squirrels.
Yeah. Oh God. Squirrels and chipmunks. God Almighty,
Oh, chipmunks are usually pretty good.
dude. My experience is if they seen you, like had one crawl across me a couple of times until I realized what was going on. And then it sat on this little log and just chirp, 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 chirp,
Oh
chirp
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole time. And I'm like, I'm gonna shoot you. And I had like a 30-30. I'm like, it's gonna happen.
I shot at one with a bow one time. I missed it, but
Oh man, I was out with my
it made
buddy
me
one
mad
time.
enough.
We were sitting in this cut block and we're waiting. We're just sitting side by side by a fallen over tree. And this chipmunk comes out of nowhere and he's running across the log towards us. And he hops onto my hunting boot and he's sniffing around all sketched out. And he jumps back onto the tree and he walks towards my face. So I just removed my balaclava and look over at him and I go, boo. And it took off like a rocket. It's just gone. And me and my buddy were pissing ourselves laughing. We had to get up and change spots because there's no way anything was coming out after that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Now, Ryan? Did you grow up over there? Where did you grow up hunting and stuff?
I grew up in Buchanan County, but on Garden Creek. Oakwood was the name of the town. But
Okay.
where we did our hunting was over in Grayson County, Virginia, on the
Yeah, I remember you
border.
saying.
Yeah, out towards Marion and all that.
Yeah, yeah, good hunting too up in
Yeah.
Grayson. Yeah, a lot of good hunting up there.
A lot of family land over there, and it's been in the family a very long time. So
Yeah,
it's good to have a place. Most of the families just got campers over there around it, don't stay in the cabin anymore. But
yeah, yeah. It is definitely some prime hunting land. I hunted over there a lot too. over on, I guess you know where Razor Ridge is.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I did a lot of hunting over there, and not so legal hunting on Panther Creek when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So you know the
Jack
old
and
pine tree
deer.
farms over there. Yeah, yeah. Hey, we always took those and we always ate them. So I mean, you know, I can't tell you how many bucks we let, but you know. But that being said, Ryan will tell you, dude. Like I was telling y'all the other night, like if you don't, I mean, you're just gonna end up hitting it. Somebody gonna end up hitting. I mean, there are so many deer that get scraped off the street here and taken to the landfill. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. I'm
Yeah.
not against hunting whatsoever. It's just I don't know what it is anymore about I just don't want to kill anything anymore. I don't know,
Well,
that sounds weird. It's
that's
weird.
totally reasonable, man.
Like
Yeah.
as I'm getting like more in, especially with this podcast,
Yeah.
and looking into all the things that could possibly be real, I'm like, whoa. Like just
Yeah.
in case, man. Like if the Fae are real, I don't want to be out here like shooting their friends.
Yeah.
Just because they had antlers on their head or just because I wanted to eat it. Like I love deer meat, dude.
Yeah.
I
Now, as a
love
kid, Ryan, as a kid, you know, that, yeah, obviously going out and blasting something, you know, you think that's fun. But I was like, killing and processing is not even my favorite part. It's not, you know, I'm with you, man. Like eating deer
Yeah.
meat's my favorite part.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't eat the antlers and I don't even hunt them anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, it's purely just to eat, and you know, and I don't go killing my bag limit because I don't need to, and
No.
if I wanted to, I could run out here and hit one anytime.
Yeah.
So
It's
you
just
know,
proper ethics.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
And
has
there
nothing to do
there
with even
has
killing
to
anything
be
anymore. It's just eating it.
for a healthy ecosystem, hunters have to be a part of. They have to be. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
mean, it gets
Well, a
just
true hunter is.
yeah. And they just
Yeah.
have to. I mean, they have to. Like even up in Pittsburgh, dude, it's ridiculous. Like what little grass there is in between, like the concrete and the asphalt of the streets and these freeways. There'll be deer
Yeah.
standing there eating. Like, and you just know they're going to get blasted. It's the freeway in Pittsburgh. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
people are crazy.
Yeah.
Not as crazy as South Carolina drivers, and I don't care what they say back. All right. Those
Yeah.
people are really crazy.
Yeah. I've been down there. I've been out in Cali. Cali's the worst.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's like South Carolina, but with like 10 lanes. And dude, they don't give a rat's ass to cross all of them and not even give you so much as a fucking hillbilly signal. I mean, no bird, no fuck you, no nothing. They just cross them all.
Man.
Yeah, it's dangerous as hell out there. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude. It's
Um,
crazy.
but yeah, it's not about killing anymore. Yeah, to me, it's even when we go fishing. I don't even when we go fishing. I like to fish for the types of fish I like to eat. I'm trying to open myself up to trout this year, to eating the trout, because we got a lot of rainbow trout that are stocked here and stuff, a
Oh
lot of brown
man.
trout.
They're
And you
good
know,
too.
yeah, I know I don't have a lot of trout recipes that I've liked, but I'm going to try to get into it this year and find me a recipe or two that I like and
You
stuff like
like
that. Most
salmon
of
cakes?
Oh yeah, I love salmon
Just
cakes.
do
I
that
love
with trout. And dude,
yeah,
you'll love it. I'm telling you.
yeah.
Just do that
Catfish
with
is my
trout.
favorite. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
um,
Walleye is probably my favorite
yeah.
fish, especially on the grill. I I can't stop fishing, so the water nymphs will just have to hate me. But
Yeah.
but, but the
But you know,
rest
that's
of
me. I like to fish and hunt for things that I'm going to eat. You know, and then I know, you know, that being a non-perishable skill, you know, that when shit hits the fan, you know, I've got a way to feed myself and others.
yeah,
You know,
I
and my
don't want
family
to
would be hard to
lose
get them
the
to eat it, but
skill because there may come a time we need this and to pass it on, for the survival of
yeah,
Yeah.
our children and grandchildren. So
And for the
Yeah.
survival of healthy populations of the animals too, you know.
Yes. So I'm still gonna buy a new bow. I
That
don't know
sounds
if
like
you
a
can
good
hear me or
investment.
not. Just make sure.
I saw that. I saw
I'm
that.
still gonna buy a new bow. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna shoot just for the love because I really love archery too.
I
It's
do too, yeah.
one of my passions, man. And, like I can't speak for myself right now, but I used to be like Hunger Games good. But
Oh yeah.
like splitting arrows good. Like my dad too. My
Dude, have you
brother
seen
too.
the new slingshot bows, the sling bows?
Yes.
Dude, I want to get into doing some of that, see if I can
Yeah.
kind of like
I'm
translate
so
it.
afraid I'll be one of those people that'll go put one right through my hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now the darts I've seen the bows, like, I mean, it's like a full blown, these things got whisker biscuits on them, you know, like
No
they're just
kidding.
like a compound. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, it's got a whisker biscuit on it, and you've got special bands, you know, that you use just for the sling bow. And you're actually shooting an arrow, not just a little dart. I know what you're talking about. The little darts are fucking sick, but I've seen people put those bad boys straight through their fucking hands. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to do that. No, this is like an actual
Jesus.
full blown arrow though, and you've got a literal slingshot. And if I find it, man, I'll shoot you an email with it. I can't remember the name of the company, but they've got one that you can change the heads on it, so you can do slingshot with shot. You know, like if you're hunting squirrel, or you can do the sling bow. And I've seen dudes on there that are just absolutely sick, just killing it with these sling bows, man.
Man, seems like it might be pretty easy to aim like that, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, because you've got the whisker biscuit. You've got, you know, if you know how to aim a slingshot, you're pretty, you know, I guess you could become pretty proficient with it pretty quick. You know, I mean, it's not like a compound. You're not shooting, you know, out to 50 and 60,
Yeah.
you know, at best. But of course, some people I know can shoot 100. But you know, you're probably confined to within 25 yards. But I mean, you know, you're in a tree stand. That's easily attainable distance, you know, if you're hunting deer or something.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh
guys, this
man.
has been fun. I've got to run.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta go to bed. I gotta work in the morning. I gotta get this audio over to Justin. I hope he's back from Kentucky. Guys, I really appreciate y'all recording with me tonight. This is the
Absolutely,
Counter
dude.
Cult Podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a chance. Go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you.
Uh, under a rock. No, you honestly, we've got we're on Facebook. You know, it's Counter Cult Podcast. We're now on TikTok, on Rumble. Counter Cult Podcast. TikTok is Counter Cult 6. And we're just now getting that up, you know, that up and going. The Rumble up and going as well. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
You guys know where you can find us. Check us out on Instagram. Come on over to the Discord. You guys, we got a Patreon up and running. Oh, we're working on more merch. I'm going to reach out to this wonderful person named Carrie. She's out in Colorado, although she wants to be in Appalachia. But I emailed her a few weeks ago. Now I'm not gonna lie, Carrie. I know I was stoned when I did it because I read the email that I responded to you with, and I was like, "Holy shit! How did she even read that?" So, plus it's been like I said, 10-hour days, dude. And then with my kids and my sons, all three of my kids' birthdays are back to back, literally.
Oh man, you poor guy.
Yeah. So I've got a 18-year-old now, I've got a 16-year-old now, and now I got a 14-year-old bringing up the rear. So it's getting nuts and emotional because my son's going to go to college. And I'm like, oh man, don't leave me. But you guys know where you can find us. Thank you guys so much for recording with me tonight. I loved it.
Hell yeah, man.
Absolutely. And you guys are welcome on ours anytime, brother.
Heck
Anytime.
yeah, man. Heck yeah. We're going to do this again and we'll make sure Justin and Lance are able to come. But That being said, Hill folk, y'all know where to find us. We love you, mean it. And until next time, we'll see y'all later.